Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the third episode of the Orange Bowl Huddle video series. I'm your host, Tony Segreto. Well, the time has come. Bowl week, finally here at the Capital One Orange Bowl, and we cannot wait for this showdown. Number 6, Tennessee. Number 7, Clemson. Doesn't get much better than that. In fact, this is the highest ranked Orange Bowl matchup, aside from playoff games and national championship games, since number 5, USC defeated number 3, Iowa in the 2003 Orange Bowl with the help of Heisman quarterback Carson Palmer and head coach Pete Carroll. So let's jump right into it. Earlier this week, we caught up with the two head coaches leading their team in the 89th Capital One Orange Bowl, Josh Heupel and Dabo Swinney. Let's take a look. Dabo, welcome back. Is this sort of like your home? Do you have voting rights? Do you have a driver's license here for yourself?
No, I wish, but it's great to be back. And, you know, we got here for the first time in 2011, for the first time in 30 years. And that was such a big deal. We played terrible, and I remember the disappointment of that game. And, man, 2 years later, we were back. And so now this is our fourth time in the past 12 years. So it's a blessing to be here. This place is special. It's a great experience for your team and your staff, and it's a great opportunity to finish on a big stage against a great team.
Yeah, let's talk about the experience, because listen, we're not going to sugarcoat it. You all of the teams want to get in that Final Four,
oh, yeah,
and then soon to be Final 12, right? But you're not. So when you get the call, like, look and see, I can win the ACC championship, be in the Orange Bowl, I have to believe, and again, this is personal, that you're thinking, this is the bowl, this is the big time, this is as good as we're going to get right now, and we're happy about it.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, there's 131 teams, only 4, the structure of college football right now go to the playoff. We've been there 6 times, and we've had great experiences doing that. But it's hard. But at the end of the day, man, you don't just get to go to the Orange Bowl. You have to play well, and we had a great year to win 11 games, to win our league. 7 out of the last 8 years. I mean, it was a great year. Our team, grew in a lot of areas, but this is a reward for a great season. And I've been going to bowl games since the late 80s, and my first bowl was the Sugar Bowl in 1989. And so I've been to all kind of bowls over the years, and some of my greatest memories as a player and a coach has been my bowl experiences. And so I'm really glad that our team has this opportunity. We don't have anybody on our team that's been to the Orange Bowl. So this will be a wonderful trip. We got a great hotel. We're staying on the beach. You got Miami. You got a great practice area. The hospitality of the Orange Bowl committee is amazing. You get to play in an unbelievable stadium, and you get to compete on the biggest stage. I mean, this is a primetime game and it's 2 teams that, this is a playoff, type game. So it's exciting to be a part of it and be able to have one more opportunity to play with this group.
So can you let us in the locker room for a second? And since none of your players have been to an Orange Bowl or been to a bowl game, right? What do you tell them?
Yeah, I tell them this is, we talked about it before the ACC championship, because, there's a lot. Obviously, you're playing to win your league. You're going to go to the Orange Bowl. There's a lot at stake, an 11th win, et cetera. And so, we talked a lot about, being able to be in a traditional, prestigious bowl game like this, the experience that comes with it, staying in an unbelievable hotel, the weather, all of those things. We had a great trip last year as well, and so the kids that were on that team had a good experience. But this is as good as it gets. And so, I think that when you tell them that, and then they look up and, oh, by the way, you're playing Tennessee. Everybody that's watched college football this year has seen how impressive Tennessee was. And at the end of the day, you're a competitor, and you love to play the game. And so to get to play one more game against one of the best teams in the country in a venue like this, how can you not be excited about it? And again, they all have this vision of the Orange Bowl, but they really don't know. So it's always fun to come on this trip, because these players will be blown away with the experience that they're going to have.
I was talking to Josh, and I said, I was sitting in Gary Stevens' office one day. Gary, offensive coordinator for Jimmy Johnson with the Cowboys and the University of Miami. And Gary said to me, you know, people don't understand that my livelihood relies on an 18-year-old going over the middle and making a catch.
Yeah.
And I thought how true that was, but then I thought to myself that you're basically the father of, I mean, you have the moniker, the shingle outside your office says Coach Swinney.
Yeah.
But it could say Father Swinney, it could say Papa Swinney, because really you're all of those things
Yeah.
combined. And these young men you get to know personally. I need to ask you a moment that I will never forget. Your last game, your punt returner fumbles the ball.
Mm.
He is almost, I mean, he's beyond distraught. You could see that. The camera catches you, and again, I'm going to give you all the credit in the world here. You could have done something as soon as he came off the field, but you actually took him in the back by the bench, almost away from everybody. He was leaning over, and you were leaning over him with your arm around him. Can you let us in a little bit? I mean, that moment to me was a snapshot of who a head coach should be, who Dabo Swinney is, and the moment of consoling a young man who knows what just occurred.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, we are all those things. I mean, we are a coach, we're a friend, we're a mentor, we're father figures, we're disciplinarians, we're encouragers. We are so many things, or certainly try to be in these young people's lives. And, you know, this is we're in an arena and in a part of a game, if you will, that is a lot of people's passion. And in a place like Clemson, there's a lot of intensity that comes with that when you got 85,000 people, and then you throw in it's a rivalry game, and oh, by the way, this kid's from Columbia, and you know, and he is an amazing kid and a great family, and we don't, you know, I mean, nobody wants to fumble the ball. Nobody wants to make mistakes. Nobody wants to win more than the players and the coaches, and these kids put so much into it. And you know, there's a time as a coach where you gotta put your foot in somebody's rear. You know, the effort's not there, or the focus, or whatever. But man, Antonio is a special player. He's a special young man. He's a freshman, and it's hard when you fail in front of so many people. And you know, I just thought it was important for me to just go there and stand with him in that moment. And because you know, there's a lot of criticism, there's a lot of blame, there's a lot of this and that. And what I wanted him to know is, hey, listen, I know this is you know, you're disappointed. That's a tough moment, and everybody sees it, you know. But what I told him was, hey, we don't win 10 games and have the season that we've had without you. You've had a bunch of great plays. You know, this is a bad one. You're going to have a bunch more great plays. So you keep your head up. And man, I love you no matter what. And you know, let's get back at it, okay? And you're not the reason that we lost. There were a lot of that's the play everybody sees at the end when you're going down to win the game and all that. But there were a lot of plays in that game that could have made the difference. So I just think it's important for him to have the right perspective before he walked off that field, because I knew, you know, what was about to come, you know, with the criticism and the noise and all those type of things. It's easy to blame, but man, the credit goes to the young man in the arena, right? And it's easy for people to point out, you know, faults and things, but this is a special player who's had an unbelievable year, and you know, is a big reason why we're in the Orange Bowl. So yeah, it was a bad moment, but he just a part of his journey.
And again, I think we need to be clear. You're 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Think about where you were at 18.
He's just starting his career. You know,
Yeah.
he's just a young guy, a freshman in college, and again, nobody wants to win more. Nobody has worked harder, and you know, it's football, and sometimes bad plays happen to the best of the best of the best. But you got to pick yourself up. You got to keep moving.
You make every day a player get better. Every single day, no matter whether he's a senior, a fifth-year player, or a freshman. Right? I remember Pat Riley telling me that in order for him to be a good coach, he needed to grow every day. He needed to grow every year. And while the message may be the same, the delivery of the message and the story around the message needs to be different. So there's an alert there. There's not a tune out.
Yeah.
Tell me about your growth and how you have to grow every year.
Yeah, I think that's very important. That's well said. I mean, I think first of all, you have to renew your spirit every day. And so for me, that's being connected through my faith and just having that wind in my sails every day. You have to truly renew your spirit every single day. And I think every year you have to start over. You know, you don't get to carry anything over. You know, unless you don't carry the bad over, you don't carry the good over. You don't carry touchdowns over, you don't carry fumbles over. You know, you start over. And so I've always been passionate, and that's actually one of my favorite parts of what I do is getting to teach everyone how to put their eyes on what's next. It's always about what's next. And it's always about, you know, just like schematically we reinstall our offense, we reinstall our defense, we reinstall these things. I reinstall the program every year. The core values, the who, the what, the where, the when, the why of what we do. And the message, like, and the vision and purpose of our program hasn't changed at all in 14 years. But always looking for ways to, you know, say the same things in a different way, you know, or reinforce it every opportunity that I get. You know, you may use something that's happened elsewhere and you can grab it and reinforce it, or it's a video of the day. There's all kinds of ways, but you're always trying to instill, you know, and nurture, you know, the culture and the foundation of your program. And I think that's why we've been so consistent. We've had 12, 10-plus win seasons in a row. And it's happened 3 times in the history of football, you know. And so I think what has driven that has been our relentlessness in starting over and not assuming. And even if we've had no change on our staff, you know, we spend 5 days together every July as a staff as if we just met each other. Like we all just plop down and, you know, and I will go through the most basic things of our program as if it's the first time we've ever heard it. And so I think that's important. And then you do the same thing with your team, because your team does change every year. And it's important that, yeah, those juniors and seniors might have got the message, but if you're not hitting that message every year, you lose it. And so I just think it's very important. And one of the things that I think makes successful coaches is when your players mimic you, and when your players 15 years later are repeating what you said.
If you still do a Dabo impression.
Then you know that they're listening, and they've got it filed away. So, you know, I love that about my job.
Yeah, well, we love having you here, Coach. We are so honored to have you here, right?
Thank you.
You know, we are, as you are excited, whether this is the 4th time or the first time.
Yeah.
You're excited as a coach with your team, and we're excited as a committee to have you in this game, because I think it's going to be a great game. And one thing, as you said on the podium earlier, it's not going to be a 6-3 game. You better put your track shoes on.
No, yeah, you got to find a way to score against these guys, because they are prolific. That is for sure.
Well, it's great to have you here. Honored to have you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
This is James.
Jimmy! This is James.
Jimmy! Jimmy! Oh!
The 2021 Toyota RAV4.
Jimmy!
The RAV for all of you.
21 years ago, you're still young.
Yeah.
But you're a young quarterback for Oklahoma, and you win a national championship beating Florida State. Does it seem like yesterday, or does it seem like 21 years ago? Because for us, it seems like, wait a minute, wasn't that just a couple years ago?
Yeah, physically it feels like it was a long time ago. In my mind, I can go back to that moment in a split second, and it does feel just like yesterday. The culmination of that season, that group of guys, the experience that we had all week long building up to the game, but then the game itself is one of the most magical memories that I'll ever have in my lifetime, and you know, it brings back the best memories.
The fact that you were in this game, did you know? I mean, I know you spent some time with the Dolphins and a couple other NFL teams, and it just didn't work out. But did you know, even before that, going into, hey, I want to be an NFL player, that one day you'd be a coach?
Grew up the son of a coach. My entire childhood, the best memories were, me being with my dad on the practice field or hanging out with some of his teammates, off season playing basketball with him as a young kid. I always loved the game, and I love the strategy of it, but I love the personality and the relationships that you form and build. Throughout my career as a college player, I really, in my heart of hearts, knew that whenever I was done playing, I was going to get into coaching. And I love the college game. I love having an opportunity to take an 18-year-old young man and help him grow and chase his dreams on the field, but do that through the characteristics that we're going to build off of the field. And I think it's one of life's greatest, most rewarding professions.
Now, forgive me, is Dad still with us?
He is, yeah.
And
he'll be on the sideline.
Do you lean on Dad a little bit for some advice, or do you ever have him come in and look at some film with you to say, I have a little conundrum here, and I just want to go to my dad. I have a lot of great assistants, but I need to go to Dad.
My father will watch a lot of the practices. If he's not there at them, he is going to watch it, at home. He still talks to me about football. We still conversate. That's a huge part of our relationship, and he's not afraid to give me a completely honest perspective of what he sees.
Now, do you ever push back and go, Dad, I love your opinion here, but just let me do my thing?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to push back. But what it does do is it gives me a transparent and honest voice that I know the information that he sees or what he's trying to communicate to me only comes from a place of us trying to be our best. And it's a great resource for me because it gives me an opportunity to see something from a different lens. And I think whenever you're in a leadership role in business or in sport, you need voices that are true and transparent. You need honest feedback, but you also have to gain a different perspective at times and be open to that and be a critical thinker.
I wonder if you can share with us, you mentioned something that I really think is important for people to hear. Because I think we forget that these are young men playing football. And the fandom and the fan base, they want to be perfect every day. They want to be perfect on every throw, on every catch, on every down. Right? I remember Gary Stevens, the great offensive coordinator for Jimmy Johnson at the University of Miami, saying, people don't understand, my livelihood relies on an 18-year-old going over the middle and making a catch. Right? But beyond the coaching of the child, of the young man, how satisfying is it to coach him in life along with football? And can you share an experience where that life coaching has really meant a difference for a young man?
Yeah, and college football, the passion, the pageantry, the fanaticism of the fans, that's part of what you love about college football and why I think it's, the greatest sport that there is. The best part of my day every day is when our players come in the building and you have an opportunity to interact with them and you get a chance to have a moment of impact with them through the game, but a lot of it, you're having conversations that are just about life, and you're talking about skills that we have to have as a team that correlate to life. It's one of the great joys in this profession, and there is nothing better. I love throwing touchdowns, but it's better seeing one of your players go out and execute and have that moment than it was when you had it yourself. I think that's one of the most rewarding things that I've learned in this game. But the best things are when they're done playing football, and that can be after a long NFL career or after their last bowl game, and they go out into the real world and they find life's passion and they find the purpose behind it. They become leaders in their community. They make impact, and you either help get them started in that profession, or you get the letter, you get the phone call that says, Coach, I'm not sure I understood everything when I was sitting in that team room or in your office, but man, I've gained a great perspective and so thankful of what you tried to instill in me. And those relationships that you have while they're 18 to 22, they don't stop when they're done. Man, they're lifelong. And the Christmas cards, the calls, the weddings that you get invited to, those are great memories.
Do you make all the weddings?
I don't make every wedding, but because your families, we spend so much time with
Yeah,
other
you're a
people.
family, absolutely.
Your family's got to be integrated into it too. And so my wife and her relationship with our players and, our kids too, those are great memories.
Jimmy Johnson used to say that you have to coach everyone the same but differently. And people would kind of take a double take on that. And they go, what do you mean? Well, there's a set of rules for the entire team. But knowing each player, knowing the player that needs the kick in the butt, knowing the player that needs the arm around the shoulder is vital. How has that learning experience been for you?
As a player, I knew the guys around me, and I knew how to try to communicate with them and try to get the best out of them. As a leader of an organization and as a team, you have a set of rules. These are core principles that we got to be for us to grow as a team. And ultimately, those things parlay right into life. You're also dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. I wasn't perfect. I know that they're not going to be either. And so you judge them for who they are today, but you help them grow in the areas of their life that they need to be successful. I think that's really important that you have that trait. And as a coach, for us to get the best out of them in life and in the game, you got to understand who they are. They all come from a different background. And so their perspective and how they receive information is going to be different. And you be fair to everybody, but you got to treat them as an individual to get the best out of them and reach them.
Your favorite experience as a player in the Orange Bowl 21 years ago? Because I know we do a lot of things in Orange Bowl. We put on quite a show. What was your favorite experience as a player?
The favorite experience would be the beach bash, where we got an opportunity to go out, get in the water, get in the jet skis. We had great food on the beach, got an opportunity that afternoon to just hang out with our guys. And for a lot of our guys, and I think that's, when Bowls first started, this was really one of the things is to be opened up and see a different community and see a different way of living. And I think, to be able to come down here, experience a different culture, was one of the best things that we got an opportunity to do.
And I can say it since I'm on the committee, the Orange Bowl is not just a bowl, it's a special bowl.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
This game, when I think of my childhood, I think of Orange Bowls. January 1st, sitting on my couch with my dad and my mom and watching these games and the great players that played in these games. One of the great things about having an opportunity to play in this game is I got a chance to look back on my childhood and understand the importance that this game has. And as a coach, the experiences that I've had here have been absolutely phenomenal. When you come down here to South Florida, you know that you're going to have one of the best experiences in the bowl season. It is a cherished game. The best of the best have played in this game, and it's an unbelievable opportunity for our players, our coaches, and our program.
Best of the best, including Josh Heupel with the national championship. Coach, thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you in the 89th Orange Bowl, and we're just honored to have you here.
Thank you so much. We couldn't be more excited. Go Big Orange.
A big thank you to both head coaches for taking the time to sit down with us. Friday should be a really good game. I think, in fact, to me, it's the best game on the docket. But it's not just the football game that we've been busy with. Earlier this month, we held our annual AvMed Orange Bowl 5K presented by Celebrity Cruises. Folks from all over South Florida joined us on South Beach as they sported their college colors, running the beautiful course in support of Camilla's house. While that was happening, the infamous Orange Bowl International Tennis Championship was taking place in Plantation, once again crowning the best of the best in youth tennis. The rites of passage in junior tennis goes right through the Orange Bowl, and some of the best in the sport won here as young children, including Bjorn Borg, Jim Courier, Chrissy Everett, Mary Jo Fernandez, John McEnroe, Andy Roddick, and Roger Federer. Boy, that's an impressive list, wouldn't you say? And finally, we cannot let you go without shining a spotlight on the Orange Bowl International Youth Regatta. This year's regatta is underway at Coral Reef Yacht Club, featuring more than 700 sailors from 20 countries across the globe. Orange Bowl, as you can see, is truly worldwide. Well, folks, that's going to do it for our third episode of the Orange Bowl Huddle. Went by fast, didn't it? A big thank you to Coach Josh Heupel and Coach Dabo Swinney, and thank you all for tuning in. Orange Bowl cares. It's your support that enables us to do what we do. From all of us here at the Orange Bowl, I'm Tony Segreto. We will see you at the game.
This is James.
Jimmy!
This is James.
Jimmy! Jim! Oh!
The 2021 Toyota RAV4.
Jimmy!
The RAV for all of you.
Is your car giving you a field day?
Bring it in. We'll fix that.
Right now at Tire Kingdom, enjoy our lowest tire price guarantee on all of our best-selling brands. Only at Tire Kingdom.